Yo, what's up guys, Marvin the Bro here, and today I'm bringing you guys a brand new video. And for today's video, I'm going to be reacting to 3 horror school animations. Sorry, I had to read off the title because I couldn't remember off my head. But before we get this video started, I want to give a shout out to Thing Matt Smith for this YouTube video idea. I got this idea from him. So other than that, let's get right into the video.
This is a family tragedy that happened 3 years ago. My son Frank was 3 years old back then. I was living with my mom in our 2-story house. The neighborhood we lived in was quite safe. Even though a few cases of small robbery occurred, no huge crime ever took place. After dropping Frank at school, I usually went straight to work. My mom was on her own until we returned home. This was an everyday routine. Things were going well until one evening I came home and noticed tension on my mother's face. I asked her, "Is everything alright, Mom? You better return home early from now on, Shelly. Mrs. Brown
Why she look like that for?
that there's been a murder and a robbery in the next block. A woman was alone in that house when 2 robbers broke in and stabbed her to death. Today, when I was sitting on the house porch in the afternoon, I saw a mysterious-looking man. He was watching our house and standing on the other side of the street." I assured her that our neighborhood was safe, and she had nothing to fear about. "Don't be so scared, Mom. All you have to do is call 911 if you ever see anything weird. Also, I'm just 1 call away. It wouldn't take much time for me to rush home." I knew she was still worried,
Eyes are disturbing me. Like, why are they so round? They pop out.
but I needed that job badly. I thought of asking our neighbors about the mysterious man, but then thought my mom just got scared hearing about the murder at the next block. Our lives went on and I completely forgot about all of it. It was a Friday afternoon and I left for work early that day. I picked up Frank from school and brought some food for a family movie night. At around 3:30 I reached home. My hands were filled with plastic bags, so I asked Frank, "Ring the doorbell for me, honey. Grandma might be sleeping." "But Mom, the door's already open." I noticed that the door was slightly open. Frank ran inside and screamed, "Grandma, we're home! Where are you?" As soon as I got inside, I felt really weird. Something was very wrong with my own house. The house was in complete darkness, and there was a spine-chilling silence everywhere. "Mom, where are you? Mom!" I turned on the living room light. The furniture was scattered here and there. I ran to my mom's room and ended up screaming in horror. My mom was lying dead on the bed. Someone stabbed her brutally. The white sheets were covered in blood.
Ow. That hurt my eyes. Ow. That hurt my eyes. Like seeing the eyes off. Oh.
I was so shocked and broken that I forgot Frank was standing right behind me. He was watching this horrifying scene with his innocent eyes. I took him in my arms and immediately we both broke into tears. I called the cops and they said our house was robbed and they murdered my mom, just like that woman from the next block. They even suspected both of these cases were done by the same criminals. The next few weeks were the toughest times of our lives, especially for Frank. He was very close to his grandmother. I locked my mom's room and started talking to real estate agents. I wanted to sell that house and move somewhere else as soon as possible. Every kid deals with the loss of a close one in their own way. Frank became awfully quiet. I thought to give him some time so that he could cope up in his own way. Also, I didn't dare make him relive those vicious memories by talking to him about his grandmother's sudden death. One day, I was on the way to pick up Frank after school. I was driving when my phone rang. It was Frank's principal. "Yes, Miss Carter, I'm on my way." "No, Shelly. There's been an issue. That's why I called you." "Why? What happened? Is everything alright?" "I don't want you to panic. Frank's been missing since recess. The cops are being informed now." "What? What the hell is going on? Where is my son?" "Well,
He probably just wants to skip school like a regular kid. Or actually, a regular kid probably wouldn't want to skip school. But yeah, he probably just wants to skip school, mother. Come on.
talk more once you reach the school." Miss Carter then disconnected the call. My heartbeat became faster. I drove at full speed, and when I reached near the school, I saw cops patrolling the area. Miss Carter saw my car and came rushing towards me. "Where is Frank? What the hell is going on here?" "Shelly, please calm down. The cops are searching the woods behind the school. Our janitor saw him crossing the fence and entering the woods. We have no idea why he..." Suddenly, a cop said in a loud voice, "We found the kid! Hurry up!" We all ran.
Who talks like that?
I was running like a wild horse. We all followed the cop until we reached near a big tree in the woods. Frank was lying unconscious on the ground. A cop lifted him onto his shoulder and we took him to the hospital. I stayed the entire night beside him, tears rolling down my cheeks. I don't remember when I dozed off.
Why do all these characters look pale? They all have white faces. Like, come on, put some color in your life. Put some color in your face. Except for him. He has, like, the only, like...
Ma? Where am I? I woke up hearing Frank's feeble voice. "Oh, my baby, how are you feeling?" "I'm thirsty." I poured him a glass of water and lifted him into my arms. Frank finished the water in one sip and said, "Where am I?" "You're in the hospital, sweetie." "Frank, why did you go into the woods during lunch break?"
Thirsty.
"She was calling me." "Who?" "Grandma." Drops of sweat appeared on my forehead. I felt goosebumps on my skin.
I'm getting goosebumps too. Oh my god, I'm getting goosebumps.
"No more. Please don't make things up." "But I'm not making it up, Mom. She was standing behind the fence watching me."
I like how he's still in the hospital, all that happened. And look, his hair is still on fleek. Look at that, I can
"I was eating my lunch outside today when our eyes met. She was wearing that blue skirt you gave her. She called me, moving her hand, and started to walk into the woods. I couldn't help but follow her. I said, 'Grandma, is that you?' But you were..."
going to the woods. Why will you follow her? Like, I guess she's your grandma. But if your mom said no more, then it's no more. Why are you still following her? But there it goes into the forest.
"She looked back at me and smiled. She then put her finger on her lips and told me to be quiet. She was walking away and I was following her." I could feel my hands going numb. I had no idea what my son was saying, but the way he spoke, I could feel he wasn't lying at all. I could see the fear in his eyes. "What happened after that?" I said nervously. "We reached near a big tree and Grandma pointed to the ground. She was facing her back at me and all of a sudden my eyes went to her hand. There was blood. Her hands were filled with blood. I got scared and looked at her face and I saw... What? What did you see?" "Her insides were hanging out of her body. I don't like her anymore, Mom. I don't want to see her. She scares me." Frank broke into tears. I hugged him tightly and my heart...
Lesson of the story is do not go into the forest with a person that your mom says no more to. That's the lesson of the story right there.
dropped in my stomach.
Unless you don't want to see that. Then no.
After 2 days of observation, Frank got released from the hospital. I took a week off to care for him, but things didn't stop happening right away. Frank wanted to go back to school. I also didn't want to keep him home. I thought being among friends would take his mind away. But then I received more shocking news. The school held a PTA meeting. After the meeting, I was talking to Miss Carter. Frank was standing right next to me. He was looking behind every now and then. There was a weird tension on his face. I followed his eyes and saw the empty hallway behind us. There was no one. I said in a low voice, "What is it, dear?" "I want to go home, Mom. Let's go home." "But why? I thought you wanted me to meet your friends. They're all waiting outside. Are you feeling sick?" Miss Carter went to attend another parent. I took Frank aside and asked in a low voice, "Frank, what's going on?" Frank looked at the empty hallway once
Oh my
again,
gosh, he probably sees the camera. Grandma.
It again, Mom. I'm scared of her now. My eyes went right to the hallway, but No one was there. Is it Grandma? Uh-huh. What is she doing right now? She's calling me again. I don't know what came to my mind. I grabbed his hand and said in a firm voice, "Follow her. I'm with you. I want to see the end of this." Frank started to walk and I followed him silently. We reached near the back door of the school. After crossing the fence, Frank again went into the woods. Within some time, we reached under the same big tree where he was found unconscious. He stopped. "Frank? What is it? What is she saying now?" But Frank was standing, still facing his back to me. I got close to him and touched his shoulder. He turned to me and I saw his eyes were red. His face looked scary. There was a crooked smile on his face that made him look horrifying. What happened next was beyond my imagination. Frank pointed at the ground under the tree and said in my mother's voice, "Shelly, tell them to dig here, Shelly. Tell them, now!" I don't remember how I came home. Frank doesn't remember anything that happened at that moment either. A day later, the cops dug that area. I didn't tell them about my mom or anything, I just requested them.
But the cops are like, back to this area again. Back to the forest where all the crime scene happened. Back to the forest.
To dig the place up. I told them that Frank saw someone burying something there, which is why he went inside the forest. After digging the ground, the cops found bloody murder weapons hidden underneath. The weapons were used to kill my mother and that other woman. The cops caught the two murderers who were robbing and killing people. Frank told me he saw his grandma one last time. He was playing on the school ground when his eyes went near the fence again. He said my mom was standing there with an affectionate smile on her face. She wasn't looking scary at all this time. She stood there smiling at him for a few seconds and vanished into the air. I hope her soul finally found peace. I would suggest you guys to go subscribe to the...
Wow, that definitely gave me the chills. That definitely gave me the chills.
It turns out that most of you guys who...
I don't care. Story number 2. Okay, this story is called The Big Lie. It's probably gonna be the last story because I don't know how long this video is gonna be. So, yeah.
My name is Emma, and I'm currently 13 years old. This incident happened a few months back, and the impact is such that I have some serious trust issues. Everything was going perfectly alright, until one day I met a stranger on my way home. I generally walk home from school with my best friend Patrick. He lives right across the street near my house. We've been best friends since kindergarten, so he knows me more than anyone else. We were walking when I suddenly felt someone was watching us. We stopped to get ice cream on our way. I stood on the sidewalk and Patrick went to buy them from the ice cream truck parked in close distance. I was casually looking around. There were not many people. There was a clothing store on the opposite side of the road, and a pretty red gown was peeking behind the glass window. I was fancying it when suddenly my eyes went to a car parked on the same side. It was a dusty old car. A man was sitting in the driver's seat and watching me. He had a piercing stare that started to creep me out. The way he looked, it felt like you could see through me. But what he did next was even more disturbing. He took out his binoculars and started to check me through it. I couldn't stand there anymore and immediately called out Patrick. "Pat, are you done?" "Yeah, here's your chocolate cone." "Okay, cool. Let's go." Without wasting...
Would you guys rather prefer vanilla or chocolate? Like, no offense to people that like chocolate, but like, out of all the flavors, you're gonna choose chocolate. I'm gonna have to go with vanilla for that one.
A single second more, I pulled his hand and walked away. I didn't tell him anything about this creep because we all know that there are plenty of people like that in this world. It's best to ignore them. At least, that's what I thought. The next day on my way to school, I saw that man again. This time, he followed me all the way. I knew he couldn't do anything wrong in the broad daylight. I almost ran inside when I saw the school gate. I couldn't concentrate on class the entire day. During lunch, Patrick and I were wandering around the school grounds. "Hey, is everything all right, Emma? You look tense. If I tell you something, will you believe me?" "Of course. What is it?" "You remember that day we stopped to get ice cream on our way home, right?" "Yeah. Why?" "A man has been stalking me since that day. This morning, he followed me to school." "You should tell your parents then." "Right. You know how controlling they are. If I tell them about this creepy stalker, I'll lose the minimum freedom they've given me." "So, what do you want to do?" "I don't know yet, but I have to wait a few days more to be sure about this creepy guy." My parents are control freaks when it comes to leaving their daughter on her own. My dad never lets me go to a sleepover or to a friend's house without getting all the details. The only reason they let me walk home with Patrick is that he's been my friend for a really long time now. Anyways, I didn't want to make a scene risking my freedom without making sure the stranger actually had some purpose. Surprisingly, that day, I didn't see the man on my way home. I came home with a relief that he might have left. I finished dinner and went to sleep.
Why doesn't she just drive to school? Instead of walking and having the guy walk behind her. Oh no, wait, but she said she was 13. Okay, so that makes sense.
With a peaceful mind. I don't exactly remember the time, but I heard a rustling sound outside my room window. I slept in the left bedroom downstairs. At first, I ignored the sound, but slowly the sound grew louder. I got up and slowly walked to my window to peek outside. I slid open the curtain a little bit and saw no one was outside. The streets were completely empty. I blamed it on my hyperactive mind and went back to sleep. I might have closed my eyes for half an hour when I started hearing footsteps inside my room. I opened my sleepy eyes and it took some time to adjust my vision with the darkness inside the room. But as I did, my heart stopped in fear. I saw a man standing near my dressing table and going through my stuff. The window was half open, which implied he got inside from there. I wanted to scream, but
At this point, bro, I would have been like, you know what? I'm gonna get killed, so might as well. Just get up, go to him, get killed. Like, you already know you're gonna get killed. Why even try to stay alive?
was so scared that no voice came out of my mouth. The man was searching for something, and he wasn't aware that I was watching him. Who are you?" As soon as I said that,
At least he has a mask, okay? Coronavirus, at least he has a mask. He's protected while he's robbing.
the man sprinted out of the room through the window and ran away. I couldn't sleep the entire night. Next morning, I told my dad. He disciplined me for not telling him earlier. Though I didn't see his face, I was sure it was the same creep. Another mysterious thing that I discovered was my comb went missing right after that night. What kind of psycho man is this? Sneaking into a 13-year-old's bedroom and stealing her stuff.
Just wants to comb his hair, you know. My dad dropped me
Off at school and my mom picked me up. I saw that man following our car several times, but due to my parents' presence, he couldn't come near me or stay longer to stalk my every move like earlier.
How old is this dude? Because if pretty sure he's older than her and she's 13, my man's gonna catch a case. You know.
A week went by and I didn't see that man. This memory was starting to fade away. It was a Saturday night and I went to watch a movie with my parents.
One thing I realized is, hold on. The school, if you guys remember, the school was named IMR. Not the mall is called IMR.
I drank a lot of Coke and had to go to the washroom in the middle of the movie. I got up and started to walk down the long corridor of the movie hall. There was no one at that time. I went to the washroom and got inside to do my business. As I was doing my thing, I heard the main washroom door squeaking open. I mean, it's a public toilet, hence anyone can come in. I came out and washed my hands, and suddenly, My eyes went to all the washrooms, and I found that all of them were wide open and empty. My heartbeat got faster, because deep down somewhere, I felt something bad was coming my way. I hurried to the main door to get out, when someone grabbed my hand. I turned back and saw it was that creep. He pressed his one hand on my mouth so that I couldn't scream. He watched me thoroughly and said, "Emma, do not go back to your parents. They aren't your real parents. Cops are standing outside waiting to arrest them. You must believe me. Your real parents have appointed me to find you. I'm a detective. I've been on the search for 4 months now." My hands went numb, and my legs froze.
So he's just trying to look at her eyes. So he's just trying to protect her from her non-real parents, I guess. So he's not bad. He just wants to protect her from something bad, because you never know what the parents are capable of. So if you think about it, he was really trying to protect her. Or unless he's lying. Oh, he's probably lying because the story is called The Big Lie. Or either he is lying or the parents are lying. We're gonna see right now. Let's not jump to conclusions.
On the floor. What the hell was he saying? He then said in a lower voice, "I'm going to remove my hand now, but promise me you won't scream. Just give me a minute to give you the evidence to prove what I'm saying is true." I blinked my eyes, gesturing yes. He then released my hand and gave me a card. "This is my card, Emma. I'm working with the state police." I saw the card. It read, "I've taken your DNA from those stranded hair samples on your comb. You must come with me to the cops." That night, my entire life changed. I found out that I was living in a big lie. The story unfolded that I was a newborn. My fake parents stole me from the maternity ward, and my real parents could do nothing but sob in my memory. They appointed this man Jonathan to find me. Somehow, he found traces of my parents and saw me on my way to school. To be absolutely sure, he stole my comb that night, and my DNA came out to be a perfect match. I'm now in this new house with new and real parents. I now know why my unreal parents were so protective of me since childhood. They knew all this time and never told me.
So he was telling the truth. So he was never a creep. Okay, I get it now.
I can't just suddenly accept these new parents because the last 13 years I was raised by a pair whom I loved as my parents. Be it fake, but I still called him my dad and her my mom. I can't help but to cry on my fate. I don't know how to cope with this situation. I'm going to see them tomorrow in the state prison. They're standing trial for the charge of abduction, but I have not a single complaint against them. The amount of love and care they showed me can never be erased from my heart. God, what have you done to my life?
Wow.
There's-
I'll say the first one was more creepy because it actually had the like the second one had the mysterious vibe, but the first one for sure had the more creepy vibe. So I'm gonna have to go with I'm gonna say I like the first one better than this one, but they were both good. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. Remember to subscribe and like these videos and turn on the notifications so you can get notified when I upload a video. Other than that, it's been Marvin the Bro, and I am out. Peace.